The arcane canon curse just keeps going, and now it's messing with Riot's golden child, Lux. Of course, this could either be a big win or a total disaster, so stick around to see what we already know about the future of the new minigame, and to take another look at Riot's latest ticking bomb. Demacia Rising really is an interesting minigame. Even though it forces you to grind matches just to farm silver shields, the main currency in the game, used for basically everything. When it was announced in the January dev update, and even before that through the Big Bad Bear leaks, we knew that in the new minigame we would be playing as young Luxana Crownguard, learning Demacia's history while being instructed by her aunt, Tiana Crownguard. And that lined up with what Rioter Meldler said in the penultimate dev update, where he mentioned that unlike last season's pretty dark themes, with LeBlanc's schemes and an ancient terrifying power rising, the first season of 2026 was going to be about honor, unity, and justice, taking us back to a golden age of Demacia. So it was pretty clear that instead of the lore advancing forward, it was actually going to go back in time and change and expand things that have already happened in the past. Well, yeah, that did happen, but not in the way I expected or said it would. We already got a little taste of this in the cinematic Salvation, where Yunara showed up in Demacia to return Xin Zhao's spear tip. But what does this have to do with the new in-client minigame? Simple. The story in Demacia Rising actually takes place after that cinematic. After we finish the mission to build 6 settlements, there's a dialogue between 2 characters. One is Lux, and the other is Jarvan IV. As we complete more missions in progress, we get new dialogues between them talking about Xin Zhao's death. Jarvan IV says that Xin Zhao's death was a huge loss, that King Jarvan III loved him like a brother, and explains how Xin Zhao came to represent what it truly means to be Demacian, because of his loyalty and devotion. Lux mentions that Xin Zhao was kind, even though they'd never really had much contact, and she reveals that she's gonna sing in a choir with the Illuminators. That's this religious charitable order in Demacia. They're gonna have some kind of memorial in honor of the late Seneschal. And you remember that Big Bad Bear leak that Sona is gonna get a prestige skin in Act 2? And that we even saw her in darker clothes with her hair down, almost looking like a stained glass Morgana skin? I even theorized that this skin would show Sona as some kind of devotee of the Illuminators or something like that, but apparently that's not the case. What it looks like now is that Sona's gonna be present at this memorial, handling the instrumental side of things. So while everyone else is singing, she's playing her melody. And yeah, it makes sense that Sona would be there for this tribute, since she knew Xin Zhao and actually has in-game interactions with him too.
There's so much pain in Xin Zhao's heart. Why? We're both a long way from home, Xin Zhao. Rest easy.
Plus, they both came from really different nations originally. On top of that, Sona's adoptive mother, Lystara Bevel, used to be part of the Illuminators when she was single, and even today she still supports the Order. Her older daughter, Kahina Bevel, is also a part of it. Now, what is very bizarre is Riot turning Lux back into a preteen again. The Lux we have in the game right now is currently about 20 years old, and in the short story for Demacia in her comment, she was 19. But the Runeterra wiki says that in the Demacia Rising minigame, Lux is only 14 years old, which is 1 year older than she was in the short story Flesh and Stone, where she interacts with Galio for the first time. So if you stop to think about it, in Summoner's Rift, we're technically playing the future Lux, and if Lux was 19 during the Mage Rebellion, there's still 5 years before that even happens. In other words, Silas is probably still out there pumping iron, with his chains and chugging that whey-flavored rat gruel. Man, just thinking about it now, that means that Jinx and Echo are way older than Lux. And I bet a bunch of other characters are gonna have their ages messed with too, because this new timelines Riot's setting up. I just wonder if Riot's gonna keep the lore more linear now, like they're trying to do, or if in another season they're gonna hit us up with a time skip. But going back talking about Lux, Big Bad Bear recently teased a big mystery in one of the leaked videos, saying that at the moment he could only show one thing, and he called it like an L. That was all he could show for now. A lot of people bet that this was referring to a possible ASU for Lux, given that she's the most requested champion to get one, since the most popular champions have gotten them, like Ahri and Lee Sin. This image here, which I even used for the thumbnail of the video, is the official concept of preteen Lux. We can see some interesting details. Her satchel is made out of Inulk leather, which are like buffalo-like creatures, kind of like the yaks in our world, native to Freljord. They're even mentioned in that Threshes cinematic where someone shouts something like, "Bort more Elnuk milk," because it's such a meme line with the crowd. We even got the blue bow she wears on her head, which honestly is pretty boring since there's nothing really special about it. But for Lux, it's vital to her look. Then there's a Galio keychain that looks pretty cool, next to a key that's probably just Lux's house key, not some primordial demon linked to fiddlesticks or anything wild. There's a blueberry juice that's clearly a nod to the old mana potions that only the old timers remember. She's got her journal and pen, then rainbow candies that would have definitely gave her some trippy visuals and make her see double rainbows. There's a pocket mirror and a handkerchief with the Crown Guard family crest. Now, what if Riot drops a one-time only gacha skin of the Lux from Demacia Rising? Think about it with me. The preteen Lux doesn't look that different from normal Lux, just a smaller and skinnier body, and at this age, Lux already knew about her magic and had already started to accept it. So she'd still fit in the game, like an ASU or something. But Riot might want to do something kinda greedy and get everyone on FOMO by locking her ASU behind a paywall, sending fans into a frenzy, and stuffing Riot's pockets with Lux main's gacha money. Sounds crazy? Maybe, but you should remember that Riot's given us some pretty terrible gacha skins already. Plus, if you think about it, we already have skins that drastically change champions' looks while still keeping their silhouette and vibe. For the Lux Demacia Rising skin, they'd have to adjust the character proportions they already have in-game or build a model from scratch. But yeah, I imagine we'll find this out soon.
Before we keep going, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and consider becoming a member. You'll get access to some really cool perks, like picking video topics or getting early access to videos.
Now about the minigame Demacia Rising, Big Bad Bear said that we're gonna have new enemies in the upcoming updates, and one of them is Captain Farron, who is a character from Legends of Runeterra. Fun fact, he's already shown up in Runeterra lore cards from Legends of Runeterra, which were those promotional cinematic-like things Riot did for the game back in the day. Obviously, he debuted in the Nexus set, and we see him pretty much aura farming instantly, because he just busts down the doors of a fortress in some place called Urtus, some kingdom bordering Nexus that was about to be subjugated and absorbed by the Empire. He knocked the soldiers out with barely any effort, and was about to turn one guy's head into mashed potatoes if Darius hadn't stopped him. And it doesn't stop there. In the Echo Convergence game, there's a note that gives info about the character. It's written in first person by Farron himself, revealing he was a kid from Zon, from the Sump, which was the lowest layer of that city. He says he's doing fine and that he finally found his calling, how the Empire gave him purpose and helped him build a new life and blah blah blah, including a mention of Darius, whatever. It'll be on the screen if you really want to read it for yourself. Also, Big Bad Bear revealed that we're gonna have new battle maps and showed what they'll look like. They honestly turned out really pretty and cool. And yeah, I've already talked about it and shown that Jarvan IV is in the game as a narrative character who's gonna talk to us. In this case, to Lux. But he's not the only one, because there are more of those portrait cards showing Garen and Quinn. So basically now in chapters 3 and 4, we're gonna have those two talking with Lux. And it's very likely that Garen will go into more detail about that event against the group of the assassins in the forest. And who knows, he might even reveal something that could be shown in the comic for the Fallen, which is coming out February 4th, pretty close to the time that the first comic focused on Yunara dropped. I also kind of suspect we're gonna get like 2 more comics in Act 2, and I think one of them might actually be focused on the new Shyvana, since she's confirmed to drop in Act 2 according to Riot Meddler in the dev update. Maybe we'll get a quick recap with some retcons in our lore, like the appearance of the thief who stole Shyvana when she was just an egg, how his magic ended up fusing with her and causing this wild, unexpected arcane mutation. Then the moment she hatches out of the egg, and then the moment that the thief feels sympathy for this purple kid that popped out and ends up adopting her. Then later on, we might even see her first meeting with Jarvan IV, and that bloody fight with her mother Yiva. And with those comics dropping, it's expected we'll get mentions or references to the new champion. Whatever the case, the new champion isn't gonna come out in Act 2, since the Shyvana rework is coming out first, and the new champion isn't until Act 3. So we're probably looking out somewhere between late February to like early to mid-March for their release. Also, I'm thinking that champ might make an appearance as one we can unlock in the Demacia Rising game, or at least have some kind of Easter egg there. You feel me? Another thing, if you've ever wondered about what Kingdom of Demacia actually looks like in the lore, peep this official image that the writer found. It literally looks like Paradis Island with the 3 walls from Attack on Titan. Like, it's wild. As a last thought, since we know the League MMORPG is still in development, I'm really hoping we get to explore all of Demacia, and that ends up looking like this in the game too. But yeah, that's basically it. I'll see you guys in the next video.